I'm back in Hungerford. I've just left Hungerford Common and I'm looking for a mysterious river called the Ingelflod. Well, it was called that back in medieval times, and we know it was here because there's several place names that talk about, that refer to an Ingelflod in this area, the least of which is, I think, might be Inkpen, but we're heading towards the Inkpen direction. But there's some old farms with old names, some of which were replaced in the modern period, that talk about this Ingelflod. I think it's here. I think it goes down to the Kennet. I think I'm stood next to it now. I need to have a look round a bit more to see if I can satisfy myself I'm right. It's all about geography. What I think is the Ingelflod is just over here, and it does seem, that hedgerow over there, and it does seem to be dry, which also supports one of the definitions of flod, which is a intermittent stream, basically a winterbourne. And there is another definition of flod, that is a channel. So I'm going to see if I can find a way of seeing whether or not it's been sort of neatened up by human hand. Inglewood is just over there, which we're just going to be going past it in a minute, and Inglewood Farm. And Anvils, which we'll be going to in about an hour, its old name was God Ingeflod, and that was changed to Anvils at some point. Probably some Norman came along and renamed it. And Bolston also had an old name. That name was Belleters Ingeflod. Bolston Farm also had an old name that had something to do with Ingle, but I've forgotten it now. But it's all of these names suggest, and they all sort of coalesce. The Flod tells it's a river. Inga and Ingel might also tell it's a river as well. We'll go into that later. But they coalesce in a geographical area, and in the middle of that is this stream over here. So Inglewood is behind me over there, and that's one of our first clues that there is something interesting here. When you add it to Inkpen and you add it to Ingeflod and the one at Bolston, which I still can't remember. Anyway, it's over there. I went. I did a little bit of a little piece to this GoPro, saying how I didn't want to offend the god of that stream, but it wasn't a noble stream. And then my SD card failed. I'm turning into Tweedy. It is definitely dry, that stream. It is marked on the map as being a stream. It's there. It's more than just a ditch. And judging by the flotsam at the bottom of the bed, it looked like it does gush in the winter. So it's obviously draining off the hills, and but not during the summer. Little beasties scurrying around inside the hedges. The corn's ripening. Well, the whole countryside is ripening. It's brown as a berry. It has a golden hue in the early morning sunlight. It's nice to get up earlier to beat the heat of the day, the heat of high summer. Get out there and have a good walk.